Welcome, everybody, to another week. This is another episode of Grimm Tales Deep Cuts, and I am your host, Gabri. Welcome. Let's talk another horror movie. This week we have a sci-fi horror, which we don't get to do too many of these because they're not as, I guess, popular as other other subgenres of horror. But I enjoy a good sci-fi horror. I do. I like, I'm a big fan of the original Alien movies and stuff like that. And this movie, I had seen this movie before. I had seen this movie when it came out. I had tried, and it was planned to do this film for the podcast, but we just never got around to it. I think we were going to do it for the third season, but we just never got around to it. There was so much going on, and we just never got to it. But now I'm going to sit here and do this with you guys tonight, and we're going to talk about Life. I thought was decent sci-fi horror. I have your attention for the next 15 to 30 minutes, so I hope I don't bore you. I hope I'm as interesting as I possibly can be, and I hope I give you informative information. We're not going to waste it. We're also not going to spoil things for you, like I said on many other episodes. Hopefully you will get the hang of the way the pattern's going to work with these shows eventually. I know it's much different than the podcast. The podcast was heavily spoiled on everything because it was a discussion forum. If it's just me giving you my thoughts and my scores, then we're not going to spoil anything. But if I have guests on and we're going to discuss things, then we'll notify you that there's going to be spoilers ahead. So obviously it's just me tonight, so no spoilers coming. No spoilers coming your way at all. But before we get into Life, let's get the stuff out of the way as always. Make sure you see it on screen. Make sure to get to the website above, HuelessVision.com, HuelessVision.com. Check it out. Everything you need is there. Everything, like from the merch store to this show and all of its episodes to other shows that we do, because we have variety that I like to do. I like to do a lot on the Hueless Vision platform. I do everything from movie reviews to gaming content to even artsy stuff. So you want to check it out? Check it out. It's over there, HuelessVision.com. You can also check out our merch store, which has a variety of different things in there. We changed the difference between the Noble GI merch store and what it was the Noble GI merch store just solely sold merch that was based off of the network's individual IPs. The Hueless Vision merch store, on the other hand, yes, does have merch based off of game nights and Grimm Tales and stuff like that, but it also has its own brand stuff. Hueless Vision is its own brand, so there might be things in there that you have no correlation with the content that we do on the network, but it's the stuff that was created through the art prospect. So again, check it out. There's stuff there. HuelessVision.com. You'll find the merch store. If we haven't already, there's some changes that may or may not happen to the website. Just keep up to date. It's all there. Make sure to like, follow, subscribe, hit that notification bell, stay up to date with everything that we do across the board. All that information and more of all of our socials can be found on the website as well. You'll also be able to find our Discord, which is a great way to get in contact with us, chat with us, and also chat with other people in the community. If you would like to be on a future episode of Grimm Tales Deep Cuts, make sure to let us know either in the Discord, either in email, or drop it on some of our socials. Honestly, the easiest way is probably the Discord. The email is probably second best. The social networks, probably the least, because there's a lot that goes on social media, and it's hard to get and see everything that happens there. So if you if you want to discuss a film with me here on an episode, the best way to go about it is get in the Discord and go about the means to do that there. It's the best way to go do it. So make sure to check out, like I said, all that and more can be found on the website, HuelessVision.com. But with that said, because I only have you for the next 15 to 30 minutes, so let's get into the talking of the film that we need to talk about. And that is Life. That's what we're talking about tonight. You would not think with the cast of this film that it would have been a good creature sci-fi horror film. But it was, right? This is probably the second horror film that I've seen Ryan Reynolds in. It's not the first one that I've seen Jake Gyllenhaal. I've seen him in quite a few, actually. And he always does a good job as a bad guy. I don't know why he does it. He does a good job. He's a good actor. He's actually a really good actor, but he does a really good job as a bad guy. I don't know what it is. I'm trying to think. There's probably other horror movies that Ryan Reynolds has been in, but the only ones I can think off the back of my head is this one and Amityville Horror, the remake of that, and he wasn't horrible in that. I don't know if by this point I don't think we've done an episode on that yet. I don't even think we've even talked about that on the podcast of the years that we did that. Maybe eventually we'll do it here on this series if we haven't already by the time you see this episode. But he does a good job. I see Ryan Reynolds is one of those actors that I think is universal. He's great at comedy. He's great at comedy. I mean, obviously he's a snarky smartass and he likes to talk shit. Even in this film, he has smartass remarks. It's kind of just Ryan Reynolds' thing. I think he even did it in Amityville Horror, which you would think that wouldn't be good in a horror film, but I mean, it just fits his character. It makes you feel like sympathetic because he's a loudmouth that talks to overcompensate for shit. That's what you feel about some of his characters, that he's trying to compensate or cover up for something. No different from this one here. This movie had great pacing, had great storytelling. Unfortunately, like if you read a lot of reviews on this, a lot of things are said that it's compared to other sci-fi horror films like Aliens. And to be fair, yes, are the Alien movies better? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can't, if you're talking sci-fi horror, probably the best sci-fi horror movies are the Alien movies, right? I mean, Ridley Scott is a great, I mean, we've talked about this on other mediums, how I enjoy his work. I love the Alien movies. I love the cyberpunk Blade Runner movies. I like that. It's like he does a great, and he's done other stuff as well. I'm just speaking in general. And yeah, of course, if you're going to compare this to Alien, then does this live up to Alien? No, it doesn't. But it's its own movie. Sure, it borrows some things, but what movies don't? There's a difference between borrowing concepts from other movies and then just dick riding. I don't feel that this movie dick rode. And again, the cast was amazing for this. The cast was just, I don't usually talk too much casting when it comes to these films because it's either hit or miss with the cast, but this one had such an amazing cast and a lot of people in it I enjoyed. There was actors in there that I don't know too well, but for example, I'm gonna probably butcher his name, Haruyuki Sanada. I love him in so many things. Oh my God, he's in so much. I can't list you his accolades. He's in so much shit, and he is a fantastic actor, and I love him in so many things. So many things. Sci-fi movies, action movies, horror movies, you name it. He's been in so much shit, and he's a great actor. And he was in this, and he did a great job with it. Of course, Jake Gyllenhaal. Jake Gyllenhaal is a great actor. I don't think I've ever said he was horrible in anything. I think he's usually genuinely good. Like, his mouth comes sometimes. I don't want to like body shame the guy, but his mouth drives me crazy sometimes. I don't know. It's something he does. He does some shit with his mouth. But other than that, I mean, he's a great actor. He's a fucking fantastic actor. Ryan Reynolds, again, across the board, great. Loved it. I'm going to butcher her name, but I love her as well, as Olga Dahava. I was going to say Dagina. I cannot pronounce that. You guys are going to have to like check it out. Rebecca Ferguson was in this. Like, there's so many people that were in this movie that were great. And you could feel the presence of the star power. They did a great job. You would think with the cast that this would not have been a stellar horror movie. The tension was real, and I liked the pacing of the tension. The creature was even interesting. Like, I won't go into too much detail about the creature. You got it. Like, but the creature was, I don't know. Like, there was a point where you feel sympathetic for the creature, and then there's a point where you're like, nah, fuck this thing, right? They did a great job of mixing the emotions there. Like, it's a very menacing, and it's space, right? Like, space is menacing no matter how you dish it out. Like space is like, I'm terrified of two things, guaranteedly. Like probably more one than the other. I'm probably more afraid of the sea, like the deep sea, than I am of space. But space equally scares the shit out of me, and it's because either one of them can genuinely kill you very like when you are not made to live in those atmospheres, they are genuinely menacing. So to be trapped in space with a creature, let alone a creature, is it is tense, especially when it's very claustrophobic and you're stuck in a space. This ain't like Alien, where it was like a more of a sci-fi, like big ship where you could run around and walk around. This is more like believable space station where you're like crawling through like small crevices and you're floating around and shit. More like NASA type shit. So it's very claustrophobic, and that alone adds its own atmospheres to the film. You would not think a film like this would have been stellar when it comes to the horror, but I think it did. I think it did. The people who dogged on this film, they were comparing it to a classic, a great. That's like me comparing, I don't know, Art the Clown to Freddy Krueger. Is Art the Clown, as much as I love Art the Clown, and I think Art the Clown is the new slasher icon that we've been waiting for, is he Michael Myers, or is he Jason, or is he Freddy Krueger? No. So if I were to put him against the great, do I believe he deserves his own place among them? Yes. But if I were to say, oh, if I'm comparing them in a scale, then no, he would absolutely be below them. So if you're going to sit there and say, oh, this has to be compared to Alien, then I wouldn't dog on the film, but I wouldn't sit there and say, oh, it's a great film if that's where we're going with it. But I don't want to sit there and do that. I think this had enough. Sure, did it borrow things from the Alien franchise? Absolutely. There are definitely some things in there that were borrowed. But I don't think it dick rode in that sense. I don't think that it rode that concept so hard that it wasn't its own individual film. The creature alone was phenomenal looking. The production on the creature, like, I would have shit myself seeing this thing. This thing was pretty and menacing at the same time. Like it was a very pretty looking creature that was also very menacing. And that's a really fucked up scenario to find yourself in. So again, I really don't think it was as bad. Like, some people dogged on this film, and I don't think it deserves the dogging that it got. The acting was phenomenal, which shouldn't be any other way. With a cast like this, if the acting was poor with a cast like this, there would definitely be something wrong. The casting did an amazing job. You wanted to know more about these characters. Like, you sat down and you watched this film. I didn't want to look away and didn't want to miss anything. It was a good film. I have now officially watched this film, I think, 3 times in its existence. And because I just rewatched it. It is available as of the time of recording this. It is available on Paramount Plus. I will get to rentals and stuff like that in a moment. But again, at the time of this recording, it is available on Paramount Plus. I rewatched it for a 3rd time just so I could do an episode on it, because I want to make sure it's fresh. I don't want to go based off of memories from a couple years ago. So yes, I rewatched it again for the 3rd time, and again, it was a good movie to watch again. It's very rare that I want to rewatch movies multiple times, and I was actually kind of excited when I knew I was going to do this. When I was like, okay, I actually want to watch this, even though I've already seen it. I actually want to watch it again. So again, will I watch it anytime soon? Unless somebody wants to watch it, probably not, because I don't want to ruin it. But it's a good movie, and it's so worth watch, especially if it's on a streaming service that you have. If you don't have Paramount Plus, fair enough, because you actually have to have the Paramount Plus that is the Showtime Paramount Plus, and some people just have the basic Paramount Plus, so there's a good chance you don't have it, maybe, if you don't have the Showtime package with it, I guess. So if you do not have that stuff, the rental information is as follows. The rent is $3.59, $3.59, 100% worth the rental. If you do not have Paramount Plus with Showtime, $3.59 is absolutely worth the rental for this film, without any problems. I would easily rent this just to watch it. Purchase, again, I've said it before, I'm not a really big fan of purchasing digital movies. Like if I want to purchase a movie, I want to buy it for its physical attributes. I want to get the book art and all that other stuff, and I want to have it on a bookshelf and stuff like that. I'm not really big on buying digital movies because then they can take them away. I know we do that with video games now, and I'm still not a huge fan of that either. Because I mean, shit, I know Sony just recently did that, and Xbox just recently did it, where they just delisted a whole bunch of games that people purchased, including myself, and I don't even know what games I'm missing now. I have no idea what games are gone. Like, they could have been games that I don't have access to anymore, and then they just fucking took them away from me. I have no idea. One of these days, I'm like, oh man, I want to go play that game, and it's not going to be there. And that's what I hate about buying digital. I hate buying digital because you don't really ever truly own anything. And that goes in this regard too. I don't like buying digital movies. I like to buy physical movies. So for that, right now, the current price is $6.99. It's not bad. Not bad. If you like buying digital movies, $6.99 is totally worth it. If you want to add this to your horror, your sci-fi collection, whatever, it is definitely worth the $6.99. It is on sale right now. Normal price is $12.99. Still not a horrible price, especially with an acting cast of this and a movie of this caliber. And the movie came out, I think, 2017. So that's not totally bad at all. So again, great film. Definitely give it a watch on Paramount Plus if you have it, watch it there. If not, the rentals are pretty good. I will go into the budget before into score. The budget of this film was $58 million. Now, again, the production was great, and you do feel that $58 million. I wonder if a portion of that went to the insane cast that we had in this film, because it had a star spread fucking cast. So $58 million, I'm pretty sure a good decent of that went to the cast as well. But you would think, oh man, they have this cast, the production of the film is going to suffer. No, the production of the film actually did very well. So they had a great cast. Nothing was sacrificed. Decent story, great cast, amazing acting, and good visuals. Not bad for $58 million. Now, I consider it by standards, this movie would be considered a moderate success, while it made back $1.5 million back at the box office. So it made back almost half of it made back its money, and then it made like half more. So I mean, it was a success. I know a lot of studios, they want to make back double what they put in, so this is more of like a moderate success. But man, I do think that this film deserves a sequel. I actually do. I think if they were to make a sequel to this and let us know, or not even a sequel, I mean, you could do a prequel, you could do all kinds of things with this film. Like, there's different things you could do about this film. I don't know how you would do a sequel. I don't know how you would do a prequel, but I would be interested to know more about this universe that they're in. I think it's a great, like, is it Alien level thing? No, but it has it may be a 2 or 3 movie concept going for it. I think in one way or another, whether it's prequel or sequels or something, I think run with it. I think let's go with it. But probably by now, since it's been almost a decade since this film it's a couple years short of a decade, I think 8 years now, we're probably not going to get it. 7 years, something like that. So we're probably not going to get a sequel to this or a prequel or anything. It'd be great to see it, but I don't think it's going to happen. With that said, though, it is time for us to get into the scoring of this film, as we are almost out of time here. With that, as always, we start with our story, and I give the scoring of life for the story. I give it a 3.5. 3.5, not bad at all, guys. Not bad at all. I actually thought the story, it wasn't a great story. It wasn't a phenomenal story by any means, but it was a decent story. Okay, it was borrowed in some ways, but I thought it was decent. Nothing to like, oh my God, you should get an award for this story. But it was decent compared to some of the garbage we get on a regular basis. It was fair, but a little above average. Definitely good. It fit the premise of what this film was. So again, fair for that one. Let's move on to the acting. What did I give the score for acting? I gave it a 5. Cannot be surprising that I give this a 5. Nobody did a poor job in this film. Everybody did a good job acting. Everybody poured their acting skills into it. Shit, there are 5-star Hollywood movies that have AAA actors into it that still don't do that good of an acting job. And this did a great job. Jake Gyllenhaal did it. Everybody across the board, everybody was phenomenal in this movie when it came to acting. Nobody did a poor job. Everybody sold their characters. Totally believe. Like I wanted to see more. I felt for certain characters. I was interested in certain characters' story arcs. It was great. I thought they were phenomenal. So a 5 across the board. Pacing. What did I give the pacing score? I gave it a 4. Not bad. Every character had a reason for being there. They didn't go too far into it. They didn't waste too much time on it. In some ways, they might have been able to go a little deeper into some of the characters, but I think for most parts, they gave enough feeling and interest into these characters and making you want to understand and care for them to make the story worth watching. Like every character, you felt like, oh, okay, good. I like the direction this is going. Or when something bad happened, you're like, oh, wow, what? Why is that happening? So the pacing was good. I'm not mad at the pacing at all. Let's move on to the gore score. What did I give the gore score? I gave it a 2.5, but I'm going to give this one a pass. It had very average gore, but the movie wasn't trying to be a gore fest. It was not trying to be overly gore. It had gore. It had its gore moments when it was necessary to depict the violence of the creature, but it wasn't overly done. It wasn't done too much, and I understand what they were trying to do. It was not trying to be a overly gore film. With that said, I give it a score because I have to give it a score. If it has gore in it, it's got to have a score. So it has a 2.5, fairly average gore, but I'm giving it a pass that the gore is just enough for a film of this stature. Fantastically fine. Okay with it. Moving on to the next score and the final of the 5. Production. What did we give the production score? 4.5. Production was phenomenal. The budget was, I don't know how the hell they got the cast and the production with the, what was that? What did I say? 58, I think it was 58 million. Let me make sure before. Yeah, $58 million. Amazing work what they managed to do with that budget. I've seen people have more budget than that and usually fumble either in the production department or the action department. So great. Production was great. Visuals were great. Very convincing. I know there was a reason, like how they managed to get the low gravity. I forget what it was. I think they were on like wires that they green screened out or something. I don't remember exactly how it was done. I know I remember reading about it, but it was believable. You felt like they were in space, and that's always great when you know it's believable like that, especially when it's like NASA level type space where there's low gravity and shit like that. They don't have like anti-gravity fields and all, or whatever it is, like sci-fi shit. They didn't have a lot of the stuff was very believable. So creature feature, alien, horror, sci-fi film, great when it comes to production. Thought it was a phenomenal. Visuals were great. 4.5 across the board. Now, giving the overall final score of the film Life, what did I give it? Here, we give it an 8.5. 8.5 is a good score for this film, and I think it is well deserved. Everybody did a great job. And if you are a sci-fi horror fan, totally worth the watch. I think. Is it? If don't go into this film thinking, oh man, is this Alien? Don't do it. Don't do it. It is not Alien. It does not have the darkness of Alien. It does not have the gore of. It's not Alien. It is its own film. Yes, it borrows some things from that, but it is not Alien in any way. So go give it a watch. Life is a pass for here. I think it's a great movie. Not the best movie by any means, but when it comes to sci-fi horror, I think it's definitely a watch. If you are a fan of sci-fi horror, this should be one of the ones you watch. I think it's a great one. So, with that said, it is time for us to get the hell out of here. So that means we go back to the other screen. Boom! That was our thoughts on Life. We hope you enjoyed the banter. We hope you enjoyed our thoughts. If you agree if you agree what I had to say here, make sure to get down in the comments below. Even if you don't agree, if you disagree with what I have, if you think this movie was shit, let us know in the comments down below. All that's there. We love to hear feedback, whether it's positive or negative. We want to hear what you have to say. We grow from these things, right? Just make it informative, of course. Don't be just like, you suck, because then, whatever, right? You're entitled to do that, but, we're just going to get passed by. So, again, make sure to leave your comments down below. Make sure to get into the Discord, comment, chat with us. If you would like to be on a future episode of Grimm Tales Deep Cuts, make sure to get to the website and check out all the ways to do that. You can do it either through email, you can get into the Discord, or you can get on social media. The best way to do it, again, is the Discord. Probably second to that is email, and then after that is social media. Social media is the hardest one because there's so many of them and it is so hard to keep up with everything. Discord is probably the best way to go about it. So if you would like to be on a future episode of Deep Cuts, make sure to let us know if there's a movie that you want to chat about that we haven't already done, and we'll see what we can do. We'll go over everything. All that and more can be found on the website, huelessvision.com. Make sure to check out our merch store. Everything is there, guys. Everything is on the website. Make sure to like, follow, subscribe, hit that notification bell, stay up to date with everything that we do across the board, across all of our platforms. It's all there, huelessvision.com. Hopefully you have a great weekend. Make sure to join us on the next one, and be safe and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Okay, because again, Friday's Friday. We know people like to party. Don't party too hard. And have yourself a fantastic weekend. And we will see you on the next one. Until then, peace out, peeps. And we'll see you when we see you.